Okay, so thank you so much for inviting me. I don't understand the people that show up today. It's a beautiful spring day, and you prefer to listen to me instead of being outside. I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me, but okay, if that's what you want, I'm happy to do that. Okay, so we are talking about today LinkedIn and how to get found and market yourself. It will be a fast-paced presentation because I want to give as much time for you at the end to ask your questions and have them answered. It's very important. What I say, yes, it's important, but what you have on your mind is way more important than whatever I have to say. So it will be fast-paced. I don't mind if you interrupt me in the middle. If you have a question, just unmute yourself and talk, or you can write it in the chat, or there are two places where I will stop and I will ask, do you have any questions now? But I'm going to go rather fast through this. It's a lot of new information, and I can't wait for the moment that I hear you ask questions. If I don't have the answer, perhaps somebody else has. Okay, good. So, how to get found and market yourself? First of all, why do you have to get found? That's a number one question. And the answer is very simple. First, because you're looking for a job and you want to be relevant in the job market. That's why you need to be found. Second, because you want inbound marketing, meaning recruiters calling you. You want to sit at home and you want to get emails and you want the phone to ring. And third, because the cards are stacked against you. I know why I'm saying that. I was 2.5 years in transition, most difficult time of my life. I don't know why I had to wait so long. I have some reason to think, perhaps it's age or whatever, but 2.5 years I was in transition, and I felt the cards are stacked against me. And so the question at this point, we need to ask ourselves, what is what we need to do to get found? First, be active on LinkedIn. Why? Because LinkedIn is where 94% of recruiters and employers look for talent. So if that's where the recruiters are, this is where you need to be. Second, realize that Google and LinkedIn and other social media represent your new resume. I remember in the past, we had to have a resume. We sent the resume to the company. We gave it to people. That was in the past. Today, the resume is on the back burner. And today, you need to be on LinkedIn and on Google because this is where recruiters attempt to find talent. And my suggestion to you is do not practice outward job hunting skills. If something worked for you 5, 10, 15 years ago, that's passé. You need something that's current. You need to find a job the way we find jobs nowadays and not the way we did it 10, 15, and 20 years ago. And my suggestion to you is don't gravitate to large companies because that's where the competition is. Remember, finding a job is a competition. You compete with many other people. And you know what? If you compete in a place where you have 100 people competing against you, what are your chances? So I always recommend for people, look for medium, possibly even smaller companies. The culture is different and you get more satisfaction. Perhaps the benefits are less, but working for a medium or small company is a great thing. So LinkedIn is the premier business platform for job seekers, provided they get found. There's no point to be on LinkedIn if nobody comes to visit your profile ever. So if you're not found by recruiters and employers, you don't exist. I almost need to apologize here because this slide says you're irrelevant, if irrelevant to them, of course, because they're not finding you, because you don't have what it takes. to be found. Remember that LinkedIn interconnects people, and the more connections people have, the more chances they'll have to getting found. Now, here, every so often I get into a conversation with people because people say, wait a second, why should I connect with people that I don't know? My opinion is I want to connect with as many people as I possibly can, and let me give you my secret. It's not because I want to connect with them. It's because I want their second level connections. And I will tell you this, I'm on LinkedIn, I think, since 2004. And early on, I came to conclusion, I want a lot of connections. And I can tell you this, I reached the maximum, which is 30,000 first level connections. And I have 1.2 million people on the second level. I have a huge network. What does that mean? What's the practical side of having such a wide network? Well, it's likely I find people inside a target company. Thank God I don't need to look for a job, but I'm here to help my clients. And I tell them, you know what? Find somebody in the company you want to work for. If you found the individual, email me and tell me why you're asking me to connect with them, and send me an email explaining to me why you want to look for John Doe, and I will take your email because I'm connected with them first level. I have their email address, and it's my pleasure to pass on your request to the individual. And I say, you know, please connect with Leora. I've known Leora for many years. She's a great person. And as a favor to me, they will connect with Leora. That's why a very large network, in my opinion, is worth it. Why is it important to have high ranking on social media and on LinkedIn? Very simple. What this slide showed about what's going on with Google, but LinkedIn is identical. 91.5% of people go only to page one. It's only 4.5% of people, forgive me, 4.5% of people go to the second page. And only 1.1% of people go to third page. Nobody goes beyond, very, very few. So you need to get found, and you better be on first page. And I'm going to take you step by step how you can get to first level. First page, I meant to say. I would say this is probably the most important slide that I have. Please remember that two kinds of eyes are looking at you. One is a computer eye. It's in the background. You don't see the computer eye. But the computer eye is looking for keywords, and it's driven by the LinkedIn algorithm. It requires you to have 100% complete profile. It talks about how often do you use LinkedIn and how many groups to belong to and how many articles you posted, etc. So there is a lot of information that it's not visible, but they see you. And the next set of eyes is the human eye, of course. The human eye is, they're looking for skills, they're looking for your picture. What tasks you have done, what are your accomplishments, how many people endorsed you, recommendation, current and past jobs, education, etc., etc. So that's the human eye, and that is you. So LinkedIn has some requirements, and I'm going to list them here. For your profile to be found, it must be what they call 100% complete. They are called all-star, and they must include a headline. This is a tagline. I'm going to talk later about the tagline. There is something called about section. In the past, we used to call it summary. You have to fill in where it says the industry and your location. You have to fill in the current position. I'm going to talk later about that. What are your skills? What's your level of education? You have to have a minimum of 50 first-level connections, and your profile must have a picture. Very important. So here I want to give you a few examples. These are, I consider, very good pictures. Do you guys agree with me? By the way, since you're on mute, this means yes, this means no. Do you agree with me that these are good? Okay, good. Yeah, thank you. Now, these need some improvement, not bad pictures, but I think they could stand a little improvement. And these are terrible pictures. And by the way, this came from LinkedIn. I see that a few of you smile. I want to cry because these people don't understand how important the picture is. So this is my first stop. I gave you a lot of information. If you have any questions, you can do it now. Just unmute yourself to ask me. John, you unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah. So should we connect with anybody that invites us on LinkedIn? So for example, I have a lot of business development people connecting with me. I saw your role at CFO Performance Partners. So in light of that, should we connect with anybody or kind of limit it to some basis of relevancy, like they're in the finance area or something?
John, I had so many arguments, not argument, but conversation with people about this subject. I am that side of the fence that says the more connections you have, the more chances you have. People argue, why should I connect with people I don't know? Or they want to see who else I'm connected with. Yeah, that is a fact. That is a fact. Let me tell you, I have 30,000 first-level connections. I am for a very, very long time on LinkedIn. I don't remember, I cannot tell you in good conscience that because of that people spam me. Perhaps occasion they do, but it's very, very little. Yet, I have connection to lots of people and lots of companies. That's my advantage. If you are not connected, then you certainly don't have that possibility. That's my opinion. Other people feel are at the other end of the spectrum. Any other questions?
Alex, I have a question.
Yes, Legend.
What is sometimes you see you have one first level, second level, third level connections. Sometimes you see third level plus. What exactly is that?
I haven't seen third level plus, but I assume these are beyond third level. I don't know.
Okay.
I have some answers, but sometimes if anybody here has an answer, please unmute yourself. I don't know what it is.
Hey, Alex.
Bush, go ahead.
Yes, I've often heard it's good to connect in with Lions, LinkedIn Open Networks workers, because once you became a first level connection of theirs, then you get access to all their second level connections, which can be 15 to 30,000 people sometimes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Connect. That's my message to you. Connect with lots of people. I don't know if you can hear, my phone rings in the background. I get so many spam phone calls. Now, this is not because I'm connected with many people, but by the way, my phone number is on my LinkedIn profile. And I get spam calls. I don't know if you do, but I do. So anyhow, any other questions or I will move on? Okay, so let's move on. Okay, now, I will go here slowly, very slowly. And I have 8 slides. And I want you to pay attention because one slide builds on the other one. And I'm sharing with you here how I became on first page on some keywords, okay? And I will go very slow here. If you don't understand, please ask me. It's very important because one slide builds on the next one. Okay, so here are 8 steps to get high ranking. Keywords are the search terms people use to find what they want in a search engine, social network, or applicant tracking system. So here's my first example. I put in here interview coaching. I put in the search box on LinkedIn interview coaching. And as you can see, I'm page 1, number 1 out of 286,000 people. That's not bad. That's not bad. Out of 286,000 people on this term, interview coaching, I'm on page 1, number 1. That is not bad. Okay, so here I'm going to share with you what I did to get there. Copy into Word document the information found on the first 5 people. For example, if you put in your title, see who are the people that come up. Let's say you're vice president of finance or treasurer or something in your area, in the position that you want in the future. Put in a title and let's see who is coming up. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, these 8 slides that I'm going to show you, I'm willing to share with you, provided you write me an email, and I will give you at the end my email address. It's alex@landingexpert.com. Write me an email and say, Alex, please send me the 8 slides. I know exactly what to do. I just click on it. It's on my desktop, and you'll get it within seconds. But I want you to first understand it. Okay, so copy in a Word document the information found in the first 5 people that came up when you had a search. And this is what I did. Look, I was number 1. So therefore, what you see there in black, that happens to be my first part of my about section in my LinkedIn profile. And whatever is in red, that's the second person. And then the third, the fourth, and the fifth. And just put it in a Word document. It's a cut and paste. Do you have any questions how to do this? I want to make sure you understand it. Okay, good. You understand it. Step number 2, delete the fluff. And
I had a question. So the this is all in the profile, right?
Yes. In my case, I did only the about section. But you can do the entire profile. I think it will be more effective.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm saying here, delete the fluff and keep only what you consider to be keywords. So look what I did. I deleted the fluff and I maintained only what I consider keywords. Keywords are those terms that people would be searching on. Career coach, interview preparation, benefits, clients, land, whatever I considered to be keywords. Okay, any questions so far? Okay.
So in your example, you didn't take the one in red, right, Alex?
In
your example, you didn't take the one in red. Is that right?
You didn't take the one?
You didn't take the words in red. You only took the one in black?
No. The words in black, I wanted to differentiate where my profile stops and where the next person ends. Where my ends and where the next person starts. So forget the colors. All I want is just a lot of keywords. Forget the colors, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm moving on. If you have a question, just unmute yourself. Okay, now what I did here, I created a column. You see, remember here, it's in a paragraph. It's a text. Okay, so what I did, I put one under the other to create a column. And of course, I used it with Excel. And now that is in a column, I can alphabetize it. And this is what I got. Then the number of words, okay, I alphabetize it. So I know, for example, interview preparation appeared 15 times, coaching 12, group coaching 8, change 7, and so forth. So that is the reason I alphabetized, because I wanted to see which are the most commonly used words. Are you clear on that? Okay. Then sort the words by the highest number, and I did it here. Interview preparation is number 1, coaching is number 2, and so forth. Now, delete everything except, say, the top 10 words, because you'll have lots of words there. It will be a very, very long column with many words. But because you prioritized, select only the top 10 or 15. As you can see on my screen, I showed the top 6. Okay, is that clear? Can I move on? Okay. Now, use the same common keywords and include them in your own profile. You see, so think for a second what we did here. We went to our competition. We copied all the words that they have in their profile in a Word document. We deleted the fluff. We kept the keywords. We put them in a column. We sorted them, alphabetizing it, and then we counted how many appear, and then we kept the first 10 or so. And now we are taking those words, and now we are borrowing them. Remember, I didn't say steal them. I said borrow them and put them in your profile. Is that clear so far? Okay, good. Now, here is a caveat. Beware of and avoid stuffing, which is a term used when the same word appears too often. The LinkedIn algorithm penalizes you for doing that. If you find some words and said, oh, great, the word treasurer appears often, let me put it 48 times. You will be punished for that. You want to have the optimal number of your keywords. Now, the question is, what is optimal? And my answer is, if I were to know what is a LinkedIn algorithm, do you think I would make presentations like this? Probably I will be in the Bahamas and enjoying life. So I don't know what optimal is, but my judgment is 5, 7 times. That's a reasonable number. Not too often, but don't put it there only once or twice or 3 times, because that's not often enough. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so let me move on. Okay, so the question is, what is next?
Did you say that 5 times was too many times, or you?
No, that's my opinion. Again, it's only my opinion. You know, I don't know the LinkedIn algorithm, but I think 3, 5, 6, 7 times, it's logical.
You can repeat the same word that many times.
That's correct. That's logic. If you put it there only once or twice, that's nothing. If you put them 35 times, you're exaggerating.
So, Alex, you're putting this in your profile section, yes?
That's correct.
But so you're putting them in sentences, not the way you showed them.
Absolutely.
As words.
Because
Okay.
it has to be in context and in content.
Yes.
If you are, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so if I'm a prospective employer or recruiter, you would find me from the headline with some of these words, maybe, because in the profile, they don't, it's my understanding that in the profile, you can't search for words.
Not true. Of course you can.
That's why, that's my question.
No, of course you
Is there a
can.
way of automatically searching profiles for the words rather than the headline?
Eileen, when you put in the keywords and you put it in the search box, it goes through the entire thing.
That was my question. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so what's next?
Alex,
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Speaking. Would you go back to that? Could you go back to the slide that we were looking at before and just possibly just spend a little bit more time and with that? So basically you're saying.
Which, on this one, or shall I go back one more?
Well, go back one more too.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, so here is what I say. You crystallize yourself 5, 7 words that you want to be found on.
Correct.
You remember the words that I want to be found on is interview coaching. So you find a keyword that you want to be found on. So what I say here, use these words and include them in your profile. Sprinkle them here and there, but in content and in context. Okay. If you are in the shoemaking business, don't talk about plumbing because it's totally irrelevant.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, can I move on?
Yes, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so no, perform a thorough research on those keywords via Google Trends. How many of you have heard or know about Google Trends? Please raise your hand. It is amazing. I'm telling you, it is amazing. Look what I did here. I put in Google Trends, I wanted to compare. I wanted to ask myself. And when I say Google, that's worldwide, or I can select here. Let's see. If you see, do you see my cursor on your screen? Okay. You see, I said, I want to find only in the United States, and I said only in the past 7 days. But it comes into 1 day or 7 days or a month or 3 years or whatever. So you can play with it. But for the sake of argument, I wanted to show you, I wanted to find out what are people searching for more times, career coaching or career coach. And it's evident based on the fact, career coach, by the way, is a red. Look how much, way more times people looked for the word career coach versus career coaching. How on earth would a human know this? Only if you go to Google Trends, you can find out and make a comparison. It's a fantastic tool. I use it all the time. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the tagline or the headline. The headline is immediately what follows a name after your name. So this, the yellow highlighted section is what I call the headline or the tagline. And what I'm saying is this: use keywords here. And I want to give you a good example. Now, this lady called Lynn Pudente, and I'm going to show you my next slide. It's the same information, but I make it bigger. You see? Okay, look what she did here. She's using in her headline keywords: purchasing, inventory and material management, supply chain, analysis, merchandising. These are all fantastic keywords. Here is another good example. And I do the same thing. I'm going to enlarge it for you so you see better. Innovative, get it done, leader, team enabler, delivering value quickly, agile, lean, MBA. These are keywords that recruiters may be using to find talent. A question that comes up very often: Alex, I'm not working, so what am I going to do? What am I going to put in my present or current status? And my answer is, use a job title that matches your goal. the future. And here is an example. A registered nurse pursuing hospital work. This is full of keywords. Registered nurse, hospital work. All these are keywords. And here is a list of things that you shouldn't use. I found this, many people use these words, and I say don't. Looking for, unemployed, free agent, available, in transition, new job, open to, next adventure, searching, new opportunity, actively, in search of, seeking, seeker. Why am I saying don't use these words? Think like a recruiter. How many people will look for people by searching unemployed or searching in transition? It doesn't help you to put these words in your profile. Highlight your goals and not your unemployment. And here is an example. First of all, I say, point out your future value to employers by adding skills and job title keywords that define the type of role you are pursuing. Here is an example. I offer a broad operations background that includes Lean, Six Sigma, team management, production supervision, and plant engineering skills. These are all keywords. If you had something like this, if they are looking for somebody that has Six Sigma background, you pop up production supervision, plant engineering. These are all keywords. So think like a recruiter. Here is another example by the same lady. Look what she put on the current position. Accelerate product speed to market via process improvement and effective partnership. She did not say in transition, unemployed, looking for, seeking. She filled that section, which is so very important, with some keywords. Now, take advantage of the real estate that LinkedIn provides you. Your headline, the headline is the tagline, you remember? You can use 220 characters. Most people have a third of it. If they give you real estate free, take it. The summary section, the about section, 2,600 characters. Most people have half or less than that. The company name, use the entire section. For example, I worked many years, 15 years for a company called Honeywell. And you guys, I'm sure, know about Honeywell. Well, I put Honeywell - industrial manufacturer. Why not? Because if somebody is looking for industrial manufacturer, I appear. If I just put Honeywell, it may be confused with the name Honeywell. Position title. Use 100 characters. If you are a CFO, if you are a treasurer, say something banking relations or something like that. Something that's pertinent to your job. In the position description, they give you 2,000 characters. Most people don't use it. Most people say, I don't want to write so much, people will not read it. Let me remind you my slide where I say there are two eyes that are watching you all the time. If somebody doesn't want to read it, they will move on. But you want the other eye, the computer eye, to find you. And if you don't have the words in there, guess what? They will not find you. And then you can use a vanity URL. Do you guys know what is a vanity URL? Okay, when you signed up with LinkedIn, if you look in your profile information, It gives a number. It says LinkedIn something and it gives you a number. Well, you can change that. I put there Alex Freund, I think career coach or something like that. You are allowed to change it. It's very easy. Do that. Any questions at this point? Okay, you can stop me anytime. Let me move on because I want to leave some time at the end. Okay, so now we are talking about the marketing part of LinkedIn. Up to this point, I talked about the technical aspect and how to get found. Now we're going to go into an area, how to use LinkedIn as a marketing tool for yourself. So what is LinkedIn personal marketing? LinkedIn personal marketing is a plan to engage and educate the LinkedIn hiring audience. Remember, the word marketing is not what most people use it for. In America, the word marketing is selling. I want to market this book, which means I want to sell you this book. No. In my book, marketing means educate the customer. And the point is, you need to do that as to why should they select you as opposed to other candidates. I was a hiring manager close to 40 years. And many of you were also hiring managers for many, many years. The number one question of the hiring manager is, why should I hire Leora and not Joyce? Until you don't have an answer to that, you cannot make a decision. So that is the reason you want to use your LinkedIn profile so that the decision maker has a reason to hire you and justify your pay. So there is something called LinkedIn outbound marketing, which is your position, is your posting of your information on your profile. The LinkedIn algorithm decides who can see such postings, but it is impossible to measure its effectiveness. Again, LinkedIn decides who sees what you post. That's outbound marketing. The problem with that is you don't know if somebody's looking at your profile. If you pay for the premium, perhaps they will tell you, otherwise they don't. Now, there is something called LinkedIn inbound marketing. And LinkedIn inbound marketing is permission-based, meaning that people opted in to connect with you. They have your email address and they have your LinkedIn profile. You gave them permission by posting yourself. That is the reason they found you. So there's outbound and there's inbound marketing. So why is the use of LinkedIn so vital? Very simple. Because you gain visibility, you establish your reputation, and you become the authority if you use it properly. And this is what you want. You want people to come to you because you are the authority in your area. That's a part of your brand. Now, here is my opinion. Focus and promote your specialty. And here is the example that I give. Saying that you are a generalist is not helpful because you'll face massive competition. For instance, if you are a physician, you compete with many physicians. However, if you are a pediatric orthopedic surgeon, you will be sought by many. I bet anything with you that if you put CFO or Chief Financial Officer in the search box, you will get millions of people that you compete against. So my point to you is you need to be different and narrow it. I can tell you from my own experience. 15 years ago, I started out as a career coach, and I did not have a lot of business. Why? Because I competed with many, many, many other people that are career coaches. And as time moved on, I came to the conclusion, I need to narrow it down. I need to specialize myself. And now I'm focusing on, I am an interview preparation coach, I have very good business. If you have hobbies, perform in supplemental gigs, or participate in activities worthy of mentioning, list them separately in the bottom section in a way that will not detract from your focused expertise. And I see this all the time. When you present yourself on LinkedIn, you want to tell the world that you can do A and B and C and D and E, all this. This is confusing the audience. If you are a financial executive, but also you play the trombone, playing the trombone comes to the bottom. Don't put it up there because the reader said, is a financial executive or he's a musician? Your LinkedIn profile is your calling card. It is not a full representation of what you do. Instead, LinkedIn offers an introduction to that reader that can choose whether to engage with you further or not. There are two parts in your profile used to communicate. There is one part which is a static part. That consists of your previous jobs and education, which do not change. Your past is your past. That's it. That doesn't change. And there is an active part which shares your updates and posting. And I'm going to give you some details how to change that. One, create your profile banner to supplement visually what you do. Here I give you 4 examples. You see, all these people have a very interesting banner. You guys know what the banner is, right? Yeah, so they worked on it and they changed it to make it very attractive. I don't know if you know the guy on the lower right, Ken Lang. Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, he has a group called Lunch and Learn. I'm typically on it at 1 o'clock. It's a Zoom presentation. And he is an expert. He's a guru on LinkedIn. So he wants people to remember him as such. When creating the headline or tagline, think like a recruiter. What are the keywords that a recruiter would be searching on? Keywords. The recruiter is not searching and finding you because you have pretty eyes. They will find you because they are searching for some keywords. Hopefully, you have that on your profile. In the about or summary section, it should be clear to the reader and he should answer to the 4 basic questions. You may want to write this down because this is very important. And you can go to my LinkedIn profile if you want to and see if I answer to these 4 questions very eloquently. I'm talking here about the value proposition. The first question you need to answer is what you do. It's a very simple question, very easy question, not very easy answer. Because yes, there are some things that it's very easy to explain what you do. And there are things that are totally out of your area of expertise. But then there are some areas that you hesitate. All I'm saying is work on it. Make sure it's very simple, very clear what you do. The next question is, who are your customers? Again, easy question, not easy to define. Yes, you certainly know who your customers are and who are not. But in between the 2 groups, there is what I call a no man's land. You need to think about it. Is this a customer? Is this not a customer? You need to define for yourself and for the reader. Because you need to communicate eloquently and succinctly. Who do you serve? The third question becomes even more difficult. what is the value you provide to them? Now, let me give you here a caveat. It's not what you think is important. It's what they think. And that's difficult because you need to think with their head. Excuse me. Okay, so the question is, what value you provide? The reader wants to know if they want to further extend to your connections or talk to you, they need to be very clear what they can get from you. And the last question is, why they should come to you and not to others. Remember what I said earlier? The number one question of the hiring manager, why should I hire Leora and not Joyce? So here is when you can write something that makes you special and you want them to come to you and not to your competition. Remember that you compete with lots of other financial executives. Use a status update to share information that can build or enhance your relationship. On your LinkedIn profile, there is something that says start your post. This is where you put information. You remember I said there is a static and there is an active part of your profile. This is the active part. This is where you want to put any news you want to share with your connections and with others on LinkedIn. Attach relevant and attractive pictures. If you put a picture and something in writing, I can guarantee you the people will first go to the section that has a picture and then the eye will go to the text. Look what I showed here. You know, I can look at these two pictures for a long time because for me, they're very attractive. They're very unusual. And that's what you want. You want people to stay on your profile as long as possible. Attach a video provided they are short, perhaps 2 or 3 minutes at the most. For my reading, people are very attracted to videos. If you have a short video, which is 2 or 3 minutes long, and you attach it to your profile and you make an announcement or something like that, you'll get lots and lots and lots of people looking at it. So we are getting toward the end. Remember that getting a job is a marketing job. To get a job, you need to market yourself. You remember what I said marketing is? Marketing is not selling. Marketing is influencing and educating the other people. And I say here, use LinkedIn as a venue for that purpose. I think this is my last slide. Yeah. Okay. Here you have my email address, phone number, what else? Yeah. Okay. You have here whatever, if you want to contact me, email me, call me. I'm always ready to help people. Now it's your turn to ask me questions. I don't know, Leora, if you're online.
Alex, the first question people are asking, may they get a copy of the deck, of the slide deck?
Unfortunately, I cannot. And I should have announced that early. I have lots and lots of pictures here for which I did not get written permission. I can get into legal issues with IP lawyers that I'm using their pictures. It's perfectly okay to do what I did here. People put pictures there not because they want to hide them, but I don't want a lawyer to contact me and say, Alex, you're making money on this, you commercialize it. So I cannot. But if you remember what I said earlier, I have 8 slides, which I happily send to you, but you need to write an email to alex@landingexpert.com, and I will attach it and I will send it to you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Yes, I do have a question.
ahead.
Alex, this is Fernando Lopez. Thank you very much. Really, I took a lot of notes and a lot of homework to do to polish my LinkedIn profile. Thank you.
My pleasure.
The question is the following. Last week, I started to precisely building my marketing campaign and look at former colleagues in the same company, started to reconnect with as many as I could. But to my surprise, I got a message from LinkedIn that I was placed in too many requests.
Stop right here.
Yeah.
Every first of the month, they put it to 0.
Okay.
So if you do a lot, I got it also one time.
All right.
I wanted to help a very, very good friend, and I did something that I shouldn't, but I did. I gave him my password for LinkedIn because I have lots of connections. And I said, instead of you emailing me, he's a very good friend. And guess what he did? He did searches and searches and searches, and all of a sudden an email came in. And I said, oh, what am I doing now? Well, the answer is wait until the first of the month. If you do this work on the 30th or 31st of the month, no big deal, because next day they will zero it. But if you do it on the 2nd or 3rd of the month, you have to wait the whole month. That's a trick. But
Okay.
I interrupted you. Please continue asking.
Well, yeah, that was basically that. Then I submitted a request to tech support because I'm using the premium, and they basically said, "Well, look at your agreement," and that's how it works. So,
well, you see, LinkedIn thinks that you are a recruiter, and they said, "Wait a second. If you are using LinkedIn as a recruiter, you better pay like a recruiter."
Okay.
Okay. So be careful. You can do a lot of searches, but not many in a short period of time. Like if you do 10 a day for 30 days, I think that's fine. But if you do 300 in 2 hours, that's not fine, because that means you're a recruiter.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because I submitted over the weekend 130.
That's exactly. Also, the question always comes up, Alex, should I pay for premium? And I think premium is about $30 a month. In some cases, it's worth it. In others, it isn't. I'll give you my example. I was given free 30-day using LinkedIn Premium. And I said, oh, free, I love it. It's free. I love it. You know what? Honestly, for my purpose, I did not get any advantage. But remember, I'm not a job seeker. But for some people, if you pay $30 a month, you get all kinds of advantages. You know what? If you're a job seeker, try it for 1 month only. For $30, $1 a day, it's not the end of the world. Try it. If you say, this is great, I can benefit, keep paying. Otherwise, cancel it and you're out of it.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I have a question, Alex. Can I ask
yes,
a question?
Please.
So
please.
I just want to make sure that I understood correctly. In transition, and I understand I shouldn't use that word, I don't actually have that, though, in my LinkedIn profile. Did I understand you correctly, though, in the experience, I should create a current and then describe my skills, almost as if it's a job? I just want to make sure that I understood.
Well, Jonathan, tell me, what is your title? What did you do? Or what are you looking for? What are you looking for? That's even a better question.
Senior level tax executive. I've particularly focused on a lot of international taxation.
Okay, so everything you told me is keywords. Senior level executive, financial executive, international tax. These are the looking for, and put these in words.
Okay.
Something like that. Again, focus on your future and not your past. But think like a recruiter.
Okay.
I have those. Do you guys want me to go back to those 11 words so you can write it down? If you want it, say that. Yes?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, you want it? Yes? Okay.
Sounds good to me. And great presentation too. Thank you. You did a great
Thank you.
job.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. Let's see where is it. Okay, here it is. Again, it's not logical for you to put in any of these words. Now, if you put it once, it's not a crime, by the way. But don't repeat open to or available, and all these words. Don't abuse it. Don't use it rarely. Perhaps it's not a crime, but it will not be to your advantage. Think like a recruiter. Leora, any questions? I see that there are 47 chats. Yeah.
Right. There's it's just people introducing themselves. I'm looking. I did not see any other questions in the chat. If anybody has any questions, feel free to speak up. If you really want to, you can put in the chat and I will ask a question for you.
Leora, I take it as a compliment that people don't have a question. You know why?
That means you explained it very well.
It means it's a perfect presentation, right?
Yes.
That's my sense of humor.
Absolutely. This was a great presentation.
Sorry, I have a question about a function LinkedIn has now. They have that open to work, I think it's called. It's like a circle that goes around your profile picture. I think I probably know the answer, but what is your opinion of having that?
Okay.
That's supposed to flag to recruiters that you're available.
But let me tell you, I attended many groups that they talk about this. 50% says, yeah, it's a great thing. 50% it's not a great thing. So I am a kind of sitting on the fence with this. On one hand, it's attractive. On the other hand, it puts you in a bunch of other people that look for. You know what? Here's what I always say when I'm asked these sort of questions. Put it then there for a little bit. If it helps you, great. If it doesn't, take it off. I mean, use it for a little bit. I don't have all the answers to this, but test it. You cannot go wrong by putting it there for a week, 10 days, whatever, 2 weeks, whatever.
All right, thank you.
Alex, Leora, I understand that there's going to be a new feature that's being slowly rolled out, the creative mode, that will allow videos and more audio.
I heard something about that and I don't have enough information, but what I can tell you is this. Next to your name on your profile, there is a little symbol like a microphone or not a microphone, rather a loudspeaker. You can record probably 15 seconds or whatever, something about you. They want you to properly pronounce your name, but you can record there something. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, I don't exactly remember what I said there, but I recorded something. I don't remember what exactly I said there. But again, it's free, use it. Some other coaches use it as a marketing tool. Clearly use it. Use everything that's free.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions?
I have a question, Alex. This is Vincenzo Chantra, and thank you for the presentation.
My pleasure.
Very, very, very interesting. I am an international banker. I've had experience both in the US and in Europe. And when I would do something like that, that would not set me apart from many other people. How could I, and staying in the same sphere that your interview specialty coach, how can I market myself with a specialty? What would be something that I would have to go through in order to do exactly that?
By the way, if you ask an outstanding question and the answer is not simple. The human nature is, when I meet you the first time, I want to impress you, of course. So I tell you, I'm a career coach, I help with this, I do this, because I want to impress you. Now at your end, you get confused. You don't know, who is this guy, Alex? Is he a career coach, or is he a shoe salesman, or is he a trombone player, or is he a gymnast, or, so decide on one thing and focus yourself very narrowly in that area. Try to become an expert in one narrow area. And once you establish a relationship with them, you can say, oh, by the way, I did not mention to you that I know also X. Oh, I also know Y. But first you have to penetrate. Actually, I have, let's see if I'm so happy I found this here, because I explained this concept to somebody before. I don't know if you can see this. Do you see a pyramid?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay, so my point is, and this is what I explain to people, when we meet, we start with the broad side of the pyramid because we want to impress you. And I say, don't do that. Start with the unique thing. And once you already made an impression, then you move to this. Does this concept make sense to you? And it's very difficult, because when I meet you, I want to impress you how great I am. But if I give you too much, I'm just confusing you. So I need to penetrate and then expand.
I thank you for that. Unfortunately, I see that in the chat, possibly they did not see the pyramid. You may want to bring that back up so everyone can see that.
Okay, let's see. I will highlight here if I find here quickly. Forgive me for.
So I gather this. So I gather this, Alex, is that you are expecting we should focus very, very tightly what we want to focus. We should actually be very, very, very focused in our search. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I did the exact, I'll be honest, I did the exact opposite. I tried to impress with so many things that I have done, and I obviously have had no traction.
Yeah. Now, I want to show you guys, please give me 2 seconds. It's behind this screen, and I'm going to show you something very interesting. Allow me to get it, okay?
Okay, in the meantime, everybody, please, if you haven't done so yet, please put your contact information and your asks in the chat. Thank you. And save the chat at the end with the 3 dots.
I want to show you what I do periodically. I don't know if you can see this, but here I put in the keywords that I'm trying to be found on. And here are the dates that I'm checking. And here, for example, I will tell you the first one here. I don't know if you can read it. It said video interview practice. This is what it says here. And the first column is page number, location, and then out of how many. So for example, on 11/29/2020, I was found on page 1, location number 2 out of 33,000 people on the video interview practice. Let me show you something more impressive. Okay, look. It says here interviewing. I don't know if you can read. Interviewing. I looked it up today, actually, which is 9/8. No, wait a minute. No, 4/8. And on interviewing, I was on page 1, number 6, out of 3.1 million people. Out of 3.1 million people that have the word interviewing, I was on page 1, location number 6. So I'm doing this constantly every few days. I want to see where is my ranking, because a large number of people when they call me and they are looking for my services, I said, by the way, would you mind telling me where did you find me? I want to know what works and what doesn't. And sorry?
Is this Google Trends or on LinkedIn, Alex?
No, people say LinkedIn 80% of the time, 20% of the time is Google. If you go on Google and you look anything, then I challenge you to do that later when we are done. There are some keywords: video interview prep, interview coaching, video interviewing. These are the keywords that I'm playing on. This is what I want people to find me and not my competition. And I'm periodically checking. I hope I answered, to your question.
You did. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I do have another question here.
Go ahead.
Let me just ask this. I'm sorry. Can you speak on how your LinkedIn activity raises your profile to recruiters in the LinkedIn algorithm?
Yeah. If you are asleep and you do nothing on your LinkedIn, guess what? You'll get to the bottom of the LinkedIn algorithm. I am very active on LinkedIn, very active. I am on LinkedIn 10 times a day, if not 20. But sometimes for 5 seconds. I have it on my iPhone right here. And, look, something came up, constantly. Is a Mark Chowdhury, perhaps one of you?
Yes,
he wanted to connect. Okay, he wanted to connect with me. So I click go. I click on it, I accept, and I move on. I am on LinkedIn all the time. Now, I will never be on LinkedIn half an hour. It's just 5 seconds here. By the way, let me give you a secret. I love to watch evening news. And when the commercial comes on, I am on LinkedIn.
Great.
Now, don't tell anyone that I said that, but that's true.
So even when we message each other on LinkedIn, that counts as well?
Yeah.
Okay, but not just liking a post. We have to actually comment on the post.
The liking helps you, but I was told by people that really know a lot about LinkedIn, you have to write 5 words or more. Don't say like great presentation. That's only 2 words. Say at least 5 words. This is a kind of a secret of the LinkedIn algorithm.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Somebody else had a question. Was that you, Beverly?
No, I just want to know how long the session is. It's from 5 until what, 6:30?
6:30, but you're welcome to leave at any time. Okay.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Alex? Alex, can you put up your last screen again so they have your contact information? And you said it was 6 or 8 slides that you can send them?
Yeah. What did I do?
You went to the end. I'm so sorry.
I have a question. Alex, question is regarding posting articles on LinkedIn. What do you suggest would be a great amount of time to do that? What's the best amount, frequency?
Okay, I would say 2 times a week, that's fine, 3 times a week, but not every day. I like to post an article. I have many articles I've written. And I hate to confess in front of you. I have the article ready. It takes me 3 minutes to post it. And I'm just busy with other things. I wanted this morning to post one, and somehow I didn't do it. Do you remember when you were a little kid, then you had to do some homework and you really didn't feel like doing it? Then you said later. This was my attitude this morning about posting an article on LinkedIn. I have the article ready. It takes me 3 minutes to post it. perhaps later on today.
Okay. Any further questions? I reposted Alex's email in the chat. So if anybody wants to, they can email Alex directly for the slides that he had mentioned earlier.
It's my pleasure. Please do that, and it's my pleasure.
You can also
I'm
connect
doing
with
this
him on
because,
LinkedIn.
yeah, I'm doing this presentation because I want to be helpful.
I have, Alex, I have one last question.
Please.
It's not precisely related to the LinkedIn and what you share with us today, but it is also related. What have you seen in your practice that has worked the most to job seekers so they can revamp their mindset and get to do it? Because, you know, later on, weeks after weeks and whatnot, and no response, etc. The emotional intelligence, what have you seen works very fast, very quick, or more effective?
Okay, Fernando, let me see if I understood what you said. What is the most important thing a job seeker should do to raise his chances? Am I correct in what you said?
Yes, and slash emotionally or something like that too. It's that combination.
I can talk to you for an hour about this. There is not one thing that you should do. There are multiple things that you should do. And I wish I could say, Fernando, do this, and in 2 weeks you'll have a job. I cannot say that. But you need to do multiple applications, multiple things. Definitely be active on LinkedIn. But also be active on other social media. Twitter and Facebook. Now, I know some people don't like Facebook. I don't like Facebook. But sometimes I put something there, and I'll tell you why. You know the saying, out of sight, out of mind? I want people to know who I am and what I do. So that's one thing that's very important, namely be active. Second thing, if you remember the 4 questions that I called your value proposition, very, very important. Make sure you have great answer to those 4 questions. And by the way, I want to warn you, it's a lot of work. I worked with a coach that helped me only with my value proposition. And if you go to my LinkedIn profile and you look at the about section, you know, the first section, the summary section, you will see if I answer the 4 questions properly. And by the way, try not to brag. Nobody likes to read when you brag. So when you do your value proposition, it has to be devoid of bragging. Very difficult, because in American culture, we like to say, I'm wonderful. We like to do that.
Yeah, we should be writing this in the first person.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Feel free, this is your
Alice,
opportunity.
could you just comment on the other services you provide? I think you mentioned your key thing is the interview prep. Can you just comment on what you do in that area?
Oh, absolutely. Now, do you have an hour? I think Leora will cut us off. No, joking. You know, here is what I do. I have a significant amount of people. By the way, January 1st of this year, I said, I want to find out how many people I helped so far. And I've been doing this for 15 years. The number was 1,065. And I said, wow, that's a lot of people. But again, remember, 15 years is a very long time. I started doing career coaching. And based on what I told you here in the last hour, I want to be very narrow. I no longer want to do career coaching. I want to do interview prep for people. This is what I'm good at. This is what helps people. And people that need, I get many phone calls. Alex, help me. I had 6 interviews, not one offer. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? These are the type of phone calls that I get. And I get all kinds of people, something that came only 2 days ago. 2 years ago, I had a very high-level financial executive who was my client. And I helped him, and he got a job. So now 2 months ago, he wrote to me, said, Alex, you were so helpful helping me. Would you mind helping my daughter? She's 31 years old and she wants to get into the FBI. I said, I'm willing to work with her. And he said, send me the bill. So it was a nice dad. He paid for the bill. So anyhow, I helped with her. And 2 days ago, I get an ecstatic phone call from her. Alex, guess what? I got in. She's going to become a special agent for the FBI. Now, let me give you some statistics. Out of 100 applicants, only 5 people are getting in. No wonder she was ecstatic. And then Dad sent me an unbelievably nice written email saying, Alex, you impacted my life, now you impacted my daughter's life. And this is why I do what I do.
Thank you.
I hope I gave you kind of an answer.
Alex, you have on your website also where else you're presenting, right?
Yes. And actually, I was working on this. Yeah, you will be able to find it, but I don't want to lie to you. Typically, I have on my website the calendar, and typically I post it there. But many of the groups I present to are a kind of private groups. And they're not so interested for me to advertise for them and so forth because they want to control the group. So I really don't post it every time. So let me just think, what would be your way? Frankly, there isn't a good way for me to say, go here and you'll find. But let me tell you what I'm working on right now. And I'm so excited about this. Here is the title of my next presentation. The bot is ready to see you now.
Very nice.
Let me tell you what this is all about.
The ATS system.
No. The bot is interviewing with the PC. The bot means a robot.
Right.
So, by the way, how many of you know what is AVI? The word AVI or the acronym AVI stands for? Any of you know that? Now, you guys know what ATS is, right? Applicant Tracking System. You better be acquainted with AVI because AVI is coming in fast and furious. AVI is asynchronous video interview. Here is a process. You apply for a position and you'll get an automatic response. We are very happy that you applied. Here is the process. We will send you a link and you'll be interviewed by the computer. And then they say you have 8, 10, 12, as many questions as they decide to ask you. You have 2 minutes or so to prepare. And then you hit enter, and then the machine is recording you. Again, this is an interview with the machine, with the computer. And when you finish all the question, you push press, which is enter, and then it goes to the company. The company reviews many of these recorded interviews, and you know what has been said. Recruiters spend 6 to 10 seconds on your resume. Perhaps you work only 3 hours, they will spend 6 to 10 seconds. So I am sure that people that evaluate your interview with the machine, probably they spend just a few seconds and they give you a ranking. They give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. And then you go into a database. There is a team that is evaluating all the recording. And if you get 5 stars, you'll be among the top people. And if everything goes very well, you'll be called and you'll be told they want to interview in person, probably via video first. But you have to have high enough ranking on the interview with the machine. This is a huge hurdle for people. And by the way, it's coming. Let me give you some statistics. 15,000 of these are done by Walmart every single day. 15,000. 57%, what did I have a slide there, 57% of Fortune 100 companies are already using it. Like the ATS, the AVI is coming. And by the way, there is a lot of artificial intelligence behind it. And you will not like that. The artificial intelligence influences the rating and the ranking by a lot of input, a lot of things. If you are being evaluated, and by the way, I want to share with you some, before I did the presentation, I wanted to be very knowledgeable about this topic. And I took such a test, and I want to share with you what I was tested on. Eye contact, it's right here. I don't know if you can see it. Your overall mock interview, can you read it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So on eye contact, I received 96 percentile. Head engagement, 65 percentile. Speaking rate, I am at the 60 percentile. Filler words, you know filler words? I can tell you what are the filler words that I used. I said, of course, understand, form, there, had, into, of, in. I was evaluated also on the tone of voice and anger, joy, fear, sadness, disgust. I was evaluated on my language style, which was analytical, tentative, and confident. I'm telling you, this is the new word, and it's frightening because you cannot fool the artificial intelligence.
What about facial expressions? Because I know that some places, instead of a lie detector, they're using tests that are facial expressions.
Well, yeah, there is also facial expression, yeah. I have 2 slides that talk about it. Smile evaluation, by the way, I don't know if you can see, but I received 100. I knew that they are going to evaluate my smile. So I made an effort. I am in the 100 percentile on smiling. And then on the tone of voice analysis, I received 37 percentile. I don't know what it means. And then, you know, when you do this, there is a company called Interview Focus, and it's about $45. And you do this with the machine, and then you get like 6-7 pages of reports with the whole analysis and so forth. Let me tell you, this frightens me. It really frightens me because you can prepare for an interview only so much. You cannot fool the artificial intelligence. So I'm going to start doing this presentation on the interviewing with the machine. Sometimes I think next month. I have already 3 or 4, 5 actually for May. I don't remember. May 25, 26, and 28. I know that I'm doing this presentation, but I don't remember the groups by heart.
Well, I hope you come back and present for us as well about this.
Leora, invite me and I'm here.
I would love to invite you back.
And you